Hello, my loves. I miss you. All right, I want to first apologize for the bad video quality because my tablet is acting up, having a bit of a temper tantrum. It doesn't want to charge or do any work. Do you ever feel like that? So I'm on my laptop, the one that we use for silent dismissal. So it's really not as great as my tablet, but we'll make do, right? So I want to talk to you right now about our science lessons that we're going to start now that you're at home learning. So instead of J&J boot camp, we're going to work in Science Studies Weekly. Now, I know some of you are already using Studies Weekly online, and some of you aren't, so I'm kind of confused about that. I mean, we're in the fourth quarter here, and some of you still have never signed on to Studies Weekly. What are you waiting for? Probably you're waiting for right now, because now we have science and social studies. Okay? So, what I need you to do is every day sign in to Studies Weekly, and you're going to do science and social studies at Studies Weekly, sorry. So I went ahead and worked with Miss Hodges, and we got each of you one account that has both of those newspapers in it, okay? So you only need to sign in one time to get both of those. I will be sending you on Class Dojo your new username and your new password. Make sure you use the new one that I'm sending you. That way you can get to the science and the social studies. Now, Ms. Hodges and I are going to be pulling the grades. So your social studies grades will be coming from Studies Weekly, and your science grades are coming from Studies Weekly. So let's talk about those science grades. Each week, you're going to do 3 assignments that are going to be graded. We're going to do more than just 3, but 3 of them will be graded. So first, you're going to read all of those articles. And at the end of each article, there are 3 questions. Answer those 3 questions. We're going to start with week 8 because we've already learned about plants, we've learned about animals, so now we're putting them together and we're going to learn about the food chain. Remember we talked about this, about the producers and the consumers, right? So this week, chapter 8 is all about the food chain and the food web. We're going to compare those two. So the first step that you're going to do, well, actually you're doing it right now, it's watching this video, and I'm going to read an article to you to start off chapter 8. But then I'm going to need you to go to my webpage, and you need to go to my webpage every single day, because every day that webpage is going to have your assignments and your activities, plus some extra activities, because I know some of you like to do a little bit more. I put in some games. I added My American Farm, that's my favorite website to play games on. So there's a lot of really cool stuff on there for you to do after you finish your work. Remember? Put first things first. We work first, and then we play. Right? Okay. So, when you're ready to start your studies weekly, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to read those articles and answer those 3 questions after every article. Okay? In total, there are 27 questions. So that means if you answer all of those questions, you're going to get a 90%. Because I need you to do a little extra. In order to get that 100%, I need you to answer 3 bonus questions. So you remember those bonus questions? They're in the top right-hand corner of that article. And the bonus questions are about extra videos or extra photographs, extra articles, and they're always like really small, right? So they can be any 3 bonus choice questions that you want. In order to get 100%, which is an easy thing to do, you read all the articles, you answer all of those comprehension questions, and then you answer 3 bonus questions. But you don't have to stop there. I mean, you can answer every single question with week 8, and that's really going to benefit you. Your second grade is going to be the crossword puzzle. Now, do not attempt the crossword puzzle, please, until after you've read all of the articles. And make sure that you not just read through it, but you understand what's happening. Because remember, if there's no comprehension, you're not really reading. You're just looking, right? And a cat can just look at the computer and you can call it reading. But they're not comprehending. They're not understanding. So in order for you to learn you need to comprehend. And that's what those comprehension questions are all about. So please, when you get to those questions, go back to the article, reread it, find that information, prove to yourself that you know the answer, and then answer the question. So after all the reading is done, all the comprehension's done, when you go to that crossword puzzle, it's going to be so easy because you already know all that content. But then, if you get stuck on something, I wonder if you're allowed to go back to the articles and reread them to find the answer. Yeah, you are. Please do that. And then your third grade is going to be the misspelled game. So it's going to be a fun little activity that takes the vocabulary words, and you're just going to pick which ones are spelled correctly and which ones are spelled incorrectly. Now, those are the 3 grades, but there are going to be other activities. I'm going to be posting videos every single day. We're going to review those vocabulary words. We're going to do some activities together, okay? So make sure you're going on to my webpage at AGA Broward every day. Every day there's going to be new videos for math and new videos for science. And then don't forget to go to Miss Hodges' page because she's going to have videos for reading and writing and language arts, okay? So now let's go ahead and go to that article. I'm going to have to pull you guys a little bit closer. Let me see, because I don't have my glasses on. If I did, it would be very glaring. Okay, let's see. Oh, by the way, look at that. I'm celebrating chalky milk. What are you celebrating? I would really appreciate it if you could email me and tell me something you're celebrating while you're working at home. Maybe extra family time, or, even better, draw me a picture or send me a photo on Class Dojo because I really miss you guys and I want to know what you're up to. So please let me know. All right, let's see if I can see the article now. Oh, perfect. All right, this article is called Disappearing Plankton, Taking a Toll on the Food Chain. Do you know what the food chain is? It's not what you pull when you want a cheeseburger. Rather, it's the order of who eats what when it's time for dinner. Grass comes before the zebra, and the zebra comes before the lion in the food chain. Grass comes before the zebra, and the zebra comes before the lion. Because the lion eats the zebra eats the grass, right? Because the grass is a producer, and everything else is a consumer. We're consuming that. Got it. Humans are at the top of the food chain. So what's at the bottom? It's a little plant called plankton. Plankton's a plant. I wonder if he knows that. But plankton, is disappearing fast. Where's it going? That's a good question. Let's start with what is plankton. Plankton is a microscopic plant. Microscopic is more like that because you can only see it with a microscope. So it's a microscopic plant that floats around in the ocean. And it provides a very important food source for other animals. It also provides half of Earth's oxygen. Well, that's a lot, half of our oxygen. But since the 1950s, plankton has been slowly dying in the world's oceans. Since plankton is the foundation for the world's food chain, taking away plankton is like taking away the bottom block of a tower. That tower is going to fall. What will the little fish eat then? Well, what will the bigger fish eat? Then, what will the fish that eat the bigger fish eat? Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn said there's always a bigger fish. So remember that. So if all those fish are dying, then what are we going to eat? And don't forget about the oxygen. We desperately need that too. So where is the plankton going? Well, they're dying. And it's probably because of the slow warming of the oceans. Over the last 60 years, temperatures on Earth have gone up because of pollution. Just enough to make the oceans a tiny bit hotter. Now, for humans like us, a tiny bit of temperature change isn't going to really make or break us. But for plankton, that's enough to keep them from growing. And being at the top of the food chain means that we should be especially concerned about the animals and the plants at the bottom. So here's the $1 million question. What can you do to make the world a little cooler for plankton? Well, let me go back in the article, and it says they're disappearing fast. And why is it? Because of pollution. So that's what we need to focus on. How we can make the world a cooler place for plankton, and for us and for everybody, is to focus on the problem of pollution. So what can you do to make that world a little cooler for plankton and everybody? Well, I want to know. So send me a video or send me an email. Tell me what you plan to do now that you're home and you've got so much power of change. Let me know what you're going to do to make the world a little cooler for plankton and for all of us. Okay? So please make sure you're checking my Class Dojo messages and go on to the website every single day and send me lots of lovely little messages and pictures and silly things. And I really miss you and I want to hear from you. Okay. Bye. Bye. Love you. Bye. Bye. No, really, bye. Seriously, bye.